At exactly 2:17 a.m., on a freezing November night in Ohio, a weather app sent an emergency evacuation alert to one single house. Not the neighborhood, not the street, just one house. And according to the National Weather Service, there was no storm coming. First, the family thought it was a glitch, a broken notification, a software error, something meaningless. But 4 hours later, the entire family disappeared.
No bodies,
No evidence.
no explanation.
And when investigators later searched the weather app's internal system, they found something buried deep inside the code. Something they were never supposed to see. A hidden program that didn't predict storms, predicted disappearances. The Harper family lived just outside Columbus, Ohio. Quiet area, safe neighborhood, the kind of town where nothing unusual ever happened. David Harper worked overnight warehouse shifts. His wife, Elena, stayed home with their 8-year-old son, Noah. To everyone around them, they looked completely normal. And maybe that's exactly why this story terrified people so much. Because cases like this aren't supposed to happen to normal families. November 14th.
2:17 a.m.
Elena suddenly woke up to violent buzzing beside her bed. Her phone screen glowed bright red in the darkness. Emergency notification. At first she thought it was an Amber Alert, but when she looked closer, her stomach dropped instantly. The notification came from a weather app called Sky Shield. Large red warning banner. Emergency tone blasting at full volume. And underneath it, only one message. Immediate evacuation advised for your location. Leave the property now. No tornado warning. No flood warning. No weather explanation at all. Just leave. Immediately, Elena woke David up instantly. He grabbed his phone. Nothing.
No alerts, no warnings, no notifications.
Which made absolutely no sense. Because if this was a real emergency, everyone nearby should have received it too. But nobody did. David checked weather radar sites himself. Clear skies. No storms anywhere near Ohio. Local news channels showed nothing unusual. Outside the house, everything was silent. No wind.
No sirens.
No movement. Just darkness. And faint rain beginning to fall under the streetlights. David tried calming Elena down. Probably a GPS error. Maybe a broken emergency system. But then Elena noticed something horrifying. The alert wasn't sent to their zip code or their neighborhood. It contained their exact home coordinates, down to the decimal point. Somebody or something knew exactly where they were. And before David could even process that thought, they heard screaming upstairs. Noah. Both of them ran into his bedroom, and when they entered, they found Noah standing beside the window, completely frozen, crying, pointing outside. David looked across the front yard. Nothing there. No person. No movement. No cars. Nothing. Then Noah quietly whispered something investigators later documented word for word. The man was looking at our house. David immediately searched outside. Front yard, backyard, garage, street, nothing.
No footprints.
No evidence anyone had been there. It was like whoever Noah saw vanished into thin air. But when David walked back inside the house, every phone suddenly vibrated at the exact same moment. Another notification from Sky Shield. This time, the message was much shorter. Do not go downstairs. At this point, David stopped believing it was a glitch. Someone was clearly watching them, or targeting them. He immediately called 911. According to released dispatch records, the call lasted exactly 4 minutes and 11 seconds. First, The dispatcher sounded confused. David explained everything. The alerts, the coordinates, the warnings, and then the dispatcher asked him a very strange question. "Sir, who told you to leave the house?" David replied, "A weather app," and according to the transcript, the dispatcher went completely silent for nearly 9 seconds.
No typing. No breathing.
Nothing. Then she quietly said something that would later disturb investigators deeply. "Officers are already on the way, but police never arrived. At least, not officially." At exactly 3:06 a.m., a black SUV slowly pulled across the street from the Harper house.
No headlights.
Dark windows, engines still running, just sitting there, watching the house, watching them. David tried calling 911 again. No answer. Then suddenly, the power inside the house shut off. Every light, every appliance, everything went black instantly, except their phones. And seconds later, another notification appeared. No emergency tone this time, only text. 4 words. "It knows you saw it." Elena later told investigators something else happened after that. Noah started whispering repeatedly, the same sentence, again and again, like someone was feeding the words directly into his mind. "It's under the house. It's under the house. It's under the house." David grabbed a flashlight. Against every warning they'd received, he slowly walked toward the basement door. Elena begged him not to open it, but fear had already turned into panic. David reached for the handle, and the exact moment his hand touched it, every phone inside the house exploded with the same deafening emergency tone simultaneously. One final notification appeared, all caps. "Do not open the door." David opened it anyway. And according to official police reports, that's where the timeline becomes impossible to explain. Neighbors later reported hearing screaming from inside the Harper home around 3:17 a.m. Then suddenly, silence.
No gunshots. No crashing sounds. No footsteps.
Nothing. Just silence. At 6:42 that morning, a utility worker driving through the neighborhood noticed the Harper family's front door hanging open. Police entered the property minutes later, and what they found inside made absolutely no sense. The entire family was gone. No blood, no signs of struggle, no forced entry. Phones still sitting inside the kitchen, wallets untouched. Even Noah's shoes remained beside the staircase. It looked less like the family escaped, and more like they vanished in the middle of ordinary life. For weeks, the story stayed local. Small news coverage, internet rumors, nothing more. Then someone inside the weather app company leaked internal screenshots online. And overnight, everything changed. According to the leak, the evacuation alert was never triggered by weather activity. Not storms, not floods, not tornadoes. The warning came from a hidden internal system buried inside SkyShield, a system called Predictive Event Detection, PED. But the terrifying part was what the system actually tracked. Because according to internal documents, PD wasn't predicting natural disasters. It was identifying locations where unexplained disappearances were statistically likely to occur. And somehow, the Harper house had been flagged 36 hours before the family vanished. When people online discovered this, panic exploded instantly. Thousands deleted the app overnight. Conspiracy theories flooded the internet. Some believed the company had access to classified surveillance systems. Others believed artificial intelligence had somehow learned how to predict death itself. But investigators later noticed one final detail hidden at the bottom of the leaked screenshots. A status line. For words nobody has ever fully explained. event successfully avoided. Except, the Harper family was never seen again. And according to archived versions of the app, their home address was permanently removed from the system less than 2 hours later. To this day, SkyShield denies the entire story. The company claims the screenshots were fabricated. The alerts never existed, and the Harper disappearance was simply a tragic missing persons case. But people online still ask the same question. If the weather app wasn't tracking storms, then what exactly was it trying to warn them about? And how many other houses received alerts that nobody ever saw?